society and world that we live in that's just so far apart from the natural world, it helps me take my mindset out of what I know and what I grew up in, which is not all there is. And so once we can get out of our own headspace, because it's usually attached to what we think others think about us, once we can take our mindset out of the human man-made crazy world, you begin to see your insecurities and your fears dissipate, because they're usually created by us. You know, it starts with the mind, but it takes training and it takes practice. So that's what I do. I pray, I meditate, I write, I connect with the stars, I study outer space and astronomy. Not so much astrology. It may be significant. I don't really know. But when you just look at other planets in our solar system, and then you go outside of our solar system to discover other solar systems and other planets and other life and other possibilities, and then other galaxies and other universes, and what that looks like, and then the size of these other planets, which several Earths or several moons and several Saturns and Jupiters can fit in, you feel insignificant and significant at the same time. And so there's a reminder to humble yourself and humble your issues, but also there's a reminder that you are here, you exist, and you matter too within this whole space. So that's just a little bit of what over time I've learned works for me. I probably sound crazy as hell, but it gets me through every time and connects me right back to God at the end of the day. So I hope I answered your question, Aniki. Okay, ministry. How was growing up in the DMV? Mr. August Westhill Brooks asks. August.Westhill.Brooks, and that has an E in it. Growing up in the DMV was amazing. It's so rich in music culture, go-go specifically. That's the land of go-go music. And I grew up actually wanting to be in a go-go band. I wanted to be a Congo player in a go-go band. I still might have that dream. And, you know, it's just so rich in Black music, whether it is soul, jazz, R&B. My dad was a local singer, and he gigged all around the place in DC. We always had a band over the house and in rehearsals. And then eventually when we moved on up to a house with a garage, you know, we would have rehearsals there for his shows. And you know, I'm a true musician's daughter. I would sit on the laps of the drummers, the guitarists, and they would show me things, and I would aspire just to want to play the drums and sing, watching my dad too. But it was just a musical household. My mom is very artistic. She was my first tap dance teacher. She learned how to tap and like the basics of tap by going to the library with her little library card, learning the steps through a book, and teaching me. So she was my first tap dance teacher. But you know, I grew up in DC and Maryland. So DMV stands for not Department of Motor Vehicles, but DC, Maryland, and Virginia. We say Maryland. And it's just very rich in the arts. You know, there were plays that we would attend. Obviously, all of the monuments and beautiful museums and landmarks that you can go to. It's also where laws are made and changed and bills are passed. So you have the professional aspect of DC. You have the outskirts of Maryland. I grew up in PG County, went to a science and technology school, but I was a part of the music program and orchestra and gospel choir and captain of the dance team with my girl Vanessa. And you know, there was just a lot to do in the suburbs, but also in the city. So DMV was everything because it's a hop, skip, and a jump to Virginia. You can see Frederick Douglass's house in the area, George Washington's house, Mount Vernon, a lot of history there. Some not so pretty history. The Ford Theater, where Abraham Lincoln was shot. I performed there many times. Smithsonian Institution, I've performed there as a tap dancer many times. Kennedy Center, as a vocalist and a tap dancer. And, you also have farmland in Maryland. Maryland is country as hell. So you got deer crossing signs. Some people have cows. You see the cornfields. You see all kinds of things in agricultural land, which is actually property that I purchased in 2005. So that, when I go back home, I could actually have, animals on the property or house animals and foster them before they get adopted, whether it's horses, etc., and have a nice balance to the fast-paced life, living in hotels and out of your suitcases sometimes. But Maryland is really country without getting into the deep South. And I love the South too. But it's very metropolitan because it's literally 15, 20 minutes away from the city, DC. And I grew up near Maryland Avenue, right next to Union Station as a younger girl. But most of my grade school years were spent in PG County, Maryland, which is right across the little PG County waterline. Okay, next question. Zavaria B. Struct asks, may I take you to dinner? I have a question for you. Are you down for vegan food? Or is you vegan? If not, it's a whole world to explore and it's delicious. Let's see. The different fruits that you post look very good. Oh, they're from Fruits and Roots. And Fruits and Roots is connected to iHeartAfrica.org. And they are building an orphanage and school for children in the DR Congo. If you want to support, it's Black owned 100%. When are you performing in Los Angeles? Coco Bangs asks. That's a TBA because I only have 2 live shows that I booked next month because I'm doing a film out of the country. But LA is not on the schedule. It very well may pop up in September or October or the later fall months, but no time soon. Okay. I cannot pronounce your name, but I believe it's Sui Sakababe or Bobby. Hi, Maya. What is the most interesting place that you've been? That is really it's a good question that I might have to come back to. I would say, and it's not a physical place, I would say my dreams are the most interesting place I've ever been. Astral projection. I mean, I've seen crazy things in my dreams, and they're very memorable and vivid. I've been to some amazing lands and different planets. I've had superpowers like flying. Oh, wow. And running fast and doing backflips and writing hit songs and stuff on stage. I wake up out of my sleep with song ideas and I have to voice record them. It's so wild. It's the most interesting place. I played football and boxed and had a TKO and a ring in my dream. Raced cars, a lot of crazy things that I don't think are too far-fetched, but it's real interesting. I've also been very stuck and not been able to run away from little monsters around me. Since I was a little girl, I had a fear of, I don't know, stuffed animals. So there was a recurring dream that I had, and I still have it as an adult, where I'm paralyzed and I cannot move and I cannot run and I cannot scream and ask for help, where these things, these little stuffed animals and toys are chasing me. So I would say my dreams are the most interesting places or place that I've ever visited. Crazy. Let's see. JTRV quotes, what are your favorite memories from the 90s? My favorite memories from the 90s are all the ad libs that